So,
Okay.
Josh, at what point in your life did you did you begin questioning your purpose and why you were here? What is my purpose? What am I doing? At what point in your life did you start questioning that, considering that question?
I would say back in middle school,
Okay.
even prior to then, I've always been very intuitive. I always asked why and I always asked how. But during that time, I was able to understand a lot more about my living situation with my mother and some of her struggles. And I always told myself that it has to be more.
Hmm.
Um, it has to be something greater than what I'm seeing. And that's when I started questioning my why and my purpose. Um, and doing so, I would seek God in that. I would seek why certain things happen. I would seek why certain people draw to me. And I would also spend some time by myself. Um,
Okay.
Education is very important. One of those goals while in middle school was I knew I wanted to do dual enrollment so I can get the education part out the way, so I
Hmm.
can start gaining resources to not only be a blessing to myself, but allow that to overflow into the lives of people around me. Um, and that's pretty much when I started asking my why. I would
Hmm.
say this, in doing so, I would tell any college or high school student or any person watching is in life you have to pinpoint the goal, then seek the process. And that's when I started asking myself, okay, what's this goal for this season? And what's the process that I have to go through? And when am I supposed to start? When am I supposed to finish? And how am I supposed to transition?
That is phenomenal. And I always find it fascinating when I meet people who ask these questions, who knew what they wanted to do and who they wanted to become. They knew
Right,
that at an early age. I'm always fascinated when I
right.
see that because your girl here, she came by the mountain, the way of the mountainside.
I
Okay,
got
I
you.
came the road traveled by many. Okay,
Right.
and it that wasn't my journey. That's not definitely not my testimony. um I was definitely the one who did not even begin questioning my why until I was already home from my first
Mm,
college experience.
got you.
So, my first college experience, I tell anyone I majored in going to college. I did. And I did just enough work to be able to stay there. But no, I had no sense of purpose. I'm
Mm,
here because this is the next step in education. You finish high school, go to
go to
college. At least
college.
that's what my parents had told me. But I really didn't take that time to really delve into my purpose and the why and what's my passion and what am I seeking? What do I want to do? I was at the club turning up. I was at the
I
20
got you.
grand in Tuskegee, Alabama, having
Okay.
a good time.
Yeah.
So, and it's so funny, Josh, because I was completing some paperwork this week at for my job. I was trying to do some additional credentialing and what have you. So I had to pull my Tuskegee transcript. Oh, Jesus. But here's the thing. Here's the thing. I don't understand how academic advisors allowed me to move forward. It's like they were
Mm,
setting me up for failure. But I know this was a long time ago, which then truly helps me see why I push so hard to create pathways for students to
right.
succeed and to put think resources into their pathway so they can be successful. Because Josh, I did not pass the first semester. I did not pass intermediate algebra.
Mm,
Okay. And in Florida, that's MAT 1033. I didn't
right.
pass it.
I remember
Okay.
that
I didn't
class.
fail it, but I didn't pass it either.
Okay.
There's a grade between passing and failing. Okay. And I
Right.
got that one right in the middle.
You got it.
So, so the next semester, I took Mac 1140, which is, no, not Mac 1114, which is pre-calculus trig. No, it
Okay.
was 1140. Who does that? I didn't pass intermediate algebra. What were they doing? What were they doing? And the same goes true. I took introduction to chemistry. I got that grade that's stuck in between passing and failing.
Yeah.
And they put me in general chemistry the next semester.
Mm.
I didn't pass. I didn't pass. So again, this really, funnels or fuels my why as to why I go so hard for my students,
Right.
and through the years, how I have challenged things and processes and fought for my students because I want to make sure everything is in the pathway so that they can succeed. And now looking back on my transcript, which I haven't that in years, I see now why I was going so hard. But in addition to that, there was a judge that I worked for when I first came home from college after my first year. I got through my junior year, and then Tuskegee told me, "Please don't come back." I said, "Okay." So. Um, but I ended up with a great job working in the criminal court system, and I was working with this judge, Commissioner Burns. And I used to talk to him all the time, and he gave me this book. He said, "Nate, you have to read this book. You have to read this book." And I did, and it changed my life. It changed the entire trajectory of my life. So the book is this, The Miseducation of the Negro by Carter G. Woodson. And I just want to share a little passage from it, if you don't mind, Josh. Is that okay? Can
I
I
don't
share a little
mind.
passage?
I'm a guest.
It says that if you can control a man's thinking, you do not have to worry about his actions.
Mm.
When you determine what a man shall think, you do not have to concern yourself about what he will do. If you make a man feel that he is inferior, you do not have to compel him to accept an inferior status, for he will seek it for himself. If you make a man think that he is justly an outcast, you do not have to order him to a back door. He will go without being told. And if there is no back door, his very nature will demand one. And I
Mm.
highlighted that some 30 years ago, and it's just been a fire for me because just that the book changed my life. That
Right.
passage right there really, really helped me understand the power of the mind, the
Right.
power of critical thinking, because the mind can be used to help push you, to lift you, to uplift you, to make you go forward, or the mind, your mind, can be used to hold you back. It's in your mind. So, as an educator, and
Definitely.
I'm going to share that last statement. As an educator, that has just always been my focus, with my students, is challenging them to think it through, to
Right.
determine their why, understand why they're doing the things they do, understand why they're choosing the actions that they decide to do. So that's all. This is a book that has impacted me significantly, has changed my life, and definitely, made me question my purpose and what it was
Mm.
that I'm supposed to do while I'm here. Do you have any comment or anything you want to share? You don't have to. I'm putting you on the
I
spot.
believe it's a powerful quote. And I feel like right now we're not going through any back doors. If anything, we're building our own homes, our own houses, our own foundations, and we're going through the front door of something that we created. So as it relates to the mind, it also relates to who we are as African Americans, who we are as Black people as well during this climate. And having that being said, we don't have to ask. We can always reconstruct. So
I love it. I love it. Yes, we can. Yes, it's our choice, mine, because there are so many who are not seeing this picture.
right,
They are still using their mind is still holding them back.
right,
And of course, there are different obstacles and things that are in the way.
definitely.
But, again, the purpose of education is to help you think critically so that you can find ways around the barriers and the barricades that have been placed to try to